Okay, so I read live on Instagram, but I decided to go ahead and record them here for people who can't make the live reading. So today, reading about Harry Belafonte and Alice Ball, both from the Little Legends books by Vashti Harrison. She is on Instagram if you want to follow her. She does such great work, both the author and illustrator of these two. So Little Legends, Exceptional Men in Black History. Little Leaders, Bold Women in Black History. Front, back of this one, back of this one. Gonna start with Harry Belafonte. Didn't have that page marked. I did earlier. Okay, here is this illustration. Harry Belafonte, 1927, singer, actor, activist. He's still with us. He's 93 years old. Harry was born in Harlem, but spent much of his childhood on the island of Jamaica, where his mother was from. In New York City, he and his immigrant parents lived with other families from around the world. Harry always remembered how hard each family worked, how little they earned, and how much they supported one another. School was difficult, and Harry felt that he didn't fit in, so he dropped out at 17 and joined the U.S. Navy. Later, Harry discovered that he was dyslexic, which explained why school was such a challenge for him. Afterward, it was by chance that he found his calling. While he was working as a janitor, he received as a tip tickets to a play. Harry had never been to a play before and fell in love with the theater. He took acting classes and started auditioning, but when he landed a job at a nightclub singing popular songs, he found success. As his career grew, Harry chose to stop singing familiar hits and instead sang the Caribbean folk songs he had heard growing up, such as the Banana Boat song, Day-O, and Jump in the Line. Americans hadn't heard anything like this music, and Harry became a singing sensation known as the King of Calypso. Throughout his career, Harry received numerous awards for his performances as well as for his humanitarian work. He never took any roles that demeaned black people, and later he created his own film production company which made movies that defied stereotypes of blackness. Harry gave a voice to the underrepresented cultures and altered the image of black people in the media. Harry worked with his friend Martin Luther King Jr. and fought for civil rights, marching and protesting, as well as encouraging other celebrities to participate. He even helped organize the 1963 March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom. Harry used his talents, popularity, and prestige to help make real change in the world. He encouraged future generations of artists to use their voices for good. Harry Belafonte. There you go. Maybe I'll post these pictures again and so the kids can follow along, or adults, while reading. So next up, Alice Ball. Here's her illustration. She's featured here and she's featured on the back here. Alice Ball, 1892 to 1916, chemist, medical researcher. Both Alice's mother and grandfather were photographers, and as a child she developed an interest in the chemicals used in photography. She went to college in her hometown of Seattle and earned not one but 2 degrees in pharmaceutical chemistry and pharmacy. What an accomplishment for a young woman. At the time, most of the African American population in the city was employed in service professions, cleaning homes or making food, for example. But Alice defied expectations and her circumstances by seeking an education and a career in science. In 1915, Alice became the first woman and the first African American to graduate with a master's degree from the University of Hawaii. While working on her thesis, she developed what would become the leading treatment for leprosy, a serious, incurable disease. She found a way for oil from the seed of the chalmugra tree to be absorbed in the bloodstream. I hope I pronounced that right. I forgot again to look it up. This treatment became the primary method that would be used until the 1940s, but for a long time, no one knew Alice was the inventor. Less than 2 years after this discovery, Alice died, and the director of her program took credit for her findings. Alice's method became known as the Dean method. It wasn't until the 1970s that historians unearthed the truth and worked to ensure that Alice got credit for her important discovery. On February 29, 2000, the University of Hawaii recognized her for her work and dedicated a plaque to her on the only Chalmugra tree on the school's campus. That day, the Lieutenant Governor of Hawaii declared February 29th Alice Ball Day. So it's leap year. Alice Ball Day. There she is. Alice Ball. Both great books if you want to add them to your kids'